Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, forget the big headlines for a bit. Today, we're plunging into something, well, really universal. Shopping.
That's right. We're using essential English for shopping
Yeah.
as our jumping off point. It's aimed at language learners, intermediate level mostly.
But don't let that fool you.
No, exactly. It's about vocabulary lists.
And absolutely. Our goal here is to go, way beyond just buy and sell. We want to unpack the insights hiding in this everyday thing, the sort of practical knowledge that hits home for anyone who's ever, bought anything. Even something that seems so simple, like shopping, has these fascinating layers, doesn't it? Spending habits, culture.
Exactly. And this lesson, it actually breaks down the different ways we shop pretty neatly. You've got clothes shopping, obviously, grocery or food shopping, the whole online world, window shopping still, right?
Yeah, the browsing.
And, of course, impulse buying.
That unplanned purchase.
Guilty as charged sometimes. Huh? Yeah, me too. And what's interesting is how these categories aren't always separate, are they? They could overlap. You pop out for milk, you see a sale.
Right. Or you're just scrolling online and suddenly...
Precisely. A quick browse turns into an actual purchase. It depends so much on the person and the situation.
Yeah. Someone in a moving house is going to shop very differently from, say, a student watching their pennies. The lesson uses really simple examples, like I usually go clothes shopping once a month.
And those simple sentences, they really ground it in reality.
Yeah.
It makes you think about your own habits. Are you mostly online now? Do you plan your food shop down to the last item? Or are you more spontaneous? Recognizing those patterns is kind of a mini self-discovery.
Okay, let's get into some of the actual words, the key terms the lesson brings up, like on sale.
The magic words.
Definitely. Means a lower price. And a bargain, that great feeling when you get something for less than you thought.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love finding a bargain? Then you've got the basics. Expensive, cheap, and for clothes, obviously, fit and size are crucial.
Knowing your size is half the battle sometimes.
It really is. And a lesson shows how these words actually work in conversation. The example, I found a real bargain on shoes last week. They were 50% off. Just clicks, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see bargain and on sale used together naturally.
And understanding refund, getting money back versus a return, which might just be an exchange.
Super important practical stuff.
Vital. And knowing if something's in stock or out of stock saves you so much hassle.
Tell me about it. And then there's shop around.
Ah, yes, the strategic approach.
Comparing prices, looking in different places before you buy. It sounds simple, but having that term is useful.
It is. Although you wonder, with online comparison being so easy now, do we consciously shop around more or less?
Good question.
Because the internet makes price checking instant, but it also floods you with targeted ads, special deals.
Yeah, it nudges you in ways you might not even realize.
Okay, so the lesson also talks about grammar, how we actually, talk about shopping, past experiences, future plans.
Right. So for things you've already bought, it mentions the past simple, like I bought a pair of trainers last week. Just stating a fact.
Straightforward. And then the present perfect, like, have you ever returned something after wearing it?
Yeah.
Which is more about, like, general life experience.
Or maybe a slightly guilty experience.
Possibly. Or, I've spent too much money this month. That's present perfect too, and wow, does that resonate.
Doesn't it just... It shows how grammar lets us reflect, maybe even express a bit of shopper's remorse or satisfaction.
Exactly. And looking ahead, planning future shopping trips.
Yeah.
The lesson covers different ways. You might say, I'm going shopping tomorrow.
Okay, present continuous for a set plan.
Right. Or, I'm planning to buy a new jacket.
Yeah.
Using planning to shows clear intention.
Gotcha.
And then there's a slightly less certain, I'll probably go shopping this weekend. Using will for likelihood.
There's a subtle difference, isn't there? I'm going... feels more definite than I'll probably go.
Totally. And knowing these helps you say what you actually mean. The lesson also flags time phrases last week, tomorrow, this weekend, which are obviously essential context.
Okay, let's imagine you're actually in a shop. What do you say? The lesson gives some common phrases. As the customer, maybe, excuse me, do you have this in a medium?
Classic. Or, can I try this on? Always good to ask.
And where's the changing room? Can't forget that one.
No. And from the shop assistant side, you might hear, that's £29.99, or hopefully, yes, we have that in stock.
Or maybe, would you like a bag?
Yeah, or the tempting, it's buy one, get one free today. We all like hearing that.
We do. Less popular is, sorry, we're out of stock.
The dreaded phrase. But yeah, the example dialogue is great. Excuse me, how much is this jumper? That one is 40 pounds, but it's on sale today for 25 pounds.
Perfect snapshot. Shows how the words and grammar just, fit together in a normal chat.
It really does. Knowing the words is one thing, but using them smoothly in conversation, that's the goal.
Okay, let's switch gears. Online shopping. Different world, different language sometimes.
Definitely. The lesson covers key bits like add to cart or add to basket, that initial step.
A point of no return, maybe. Then proceed to checkout.
Where you actually commit, yeah. And free shipping. Huge factor online.
Oh, massive. Out of stock is still a pain online, just like in a real shop.
Yep. But online you get things like estimated delivery, managing expectations, and secure payment, which is crucial for trust.
The example they give is spot on. I added some trainers to my basket, but I changed my mind at checkout. The delivery time was too long.
So relatable. Shows how those online practicalities, delivery time, shipping costs, really affect the final click.
It's interesting how online shopping has its own vocabulary now. Wish list, compare prices, often done automatically for you.
And customer reviews, they become such a big part of deciding whether to buy something online or not.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to our own spending habits. This is tied into shopping so closely.
For sure. The lesson gives us words like budget, that plan for your money, and splurge. When you treat yourself, maybe go a bit over budget.
We all need a splurge now and then.
Within reason. Then there's frugal, being careful with money. And the idea of being a natural saver versus a spender.
Which camp do you fall into? Don't have to answer that.
Let's just say I appreciate the concept of a budget. The examples are good. I try to stick to a budget, a common goal.
I'm trying to spend less this month. That conscious effort.
And I sometimes splurge on expensive gadgets, admitting those moments of weakness or maybe just planned indulgence.
The lesson also mentions how people often shift away from impulse buying as they get older, maybe, towards more thought-out purchases.
Yeah, thinking more about need versus want. That can come with age or changing financial situations or even just becoming more aware of, say, sustainability.
Makes sense. There are loads of budgeting apps and tools now, too, which probably helps some people.
True. Now, shopping isn't just personal, it's cultural, too. The lesson points this out, like bargaining.
Right. In lots of places, especially markets or smaller shops, haggling over the price is totally normal, expected even.
Whereas in, say, a big department store, the UK or US, trying to bargain would be, well, weird.
Yeah, probably get some funny looks. Prices are usually fixed in those settings. It's a big difference for travelers to get used to.
And tipping, too. Not usually a thing in shops in many Western countries, but may be expected in related services. And return policies can vary wildly.
Some places are super easygoing, others really strict. Depends on the country, the store.
It really makes you pause and think. Okay, how is shopping where I live different from somewhere like the UK or USA? It's a fascinating glimpse into different social norms.
It really is. So if you want to actually talk about shopping with someone, the lesson gives some good conversation starters.
Yeah, simple things like, where do you usually shop for clothes? Or do you prefer shopping online or in store? Easy ways in.
And then slightly more revealing ones, maybe. Have you ever bought something really expensive?
Ooh, that can lead to good stories. Or, what's the best deal you've ever found? People love sharing those wins.
And the flip side. What's something you regret buying? We've probably all got one of those.
Well, for sure. The example answer they provide is quite nice. I usually shop at small local stores because I like to support local businesses. Last year, I bought a designer bag on sale 70% off.
See, that's great. It gives a preference, a reason why, and a specific cool story, the bargain bag.
Exactly. It turns a simple answer into something much more interesting. You're sharing a bit about yourself, your values, maybe a bit of shopping triumph.
So to practice all this, the lesson suggests actually talking for a minute or two about your last shopping trip, maybe.
Or your favorite place to shop, or something you're planning to buy. It even gives a little template, a structure to follow.
That kind of focused practice, just trying to talk about your own experiences using the new words and phrases, that's how it really sticks, isn't it?
Absolutely. Makes it personal, makes it memorable.
And finally, just to wrap things up, the lesson throws in some bonus natural expressions, little things to help you sound more fluent when you're actually out there.
Yeah, like the classic, I'm just browsing, thanks. Perfect for when you don't want help just yet.
Or the direct, do you have this in stock? Essential question.
And the polite brush off, I'll think about it. Very useful if you feel pressured.
Definitely. Also, that's a bit out of my price range, clear and honest.
And practical things like, can I get this gift wrapped if it's a present? Oh, and for students, always worth asking, do you have any discounts for students?
You never know. So, wow, okay. As we wrap up this deep dive into shopping, we've actually covered a fair bit of ground.
We really have. From the types of shopping, the key words,
The grammar for talking about it, how to handle yourself in stores and online,
thinking about spending habits, cultural differences, how to start conversations.
and even those little phrases to sound more natural.
And understanding all this, it's not just for language learners, is it? It helps anyone be a bit more, I don't know, aware and effective as a consumer in today's world.
Yeah, maybe a bit more mindful, a bit savvier when dealing with the marketplace.
Exactly.
So, with all that said, maybe take a moment to think about how your own shopping habits, your cultural background, how they shape your experience. Is there one thing about how you shop that you might look at a bit differently after our chat today? Definitely some food for thought for next time you hit the shops, real or virtual.